Hi, my name is Greg Stier. I'm the president of Dare to Share Ministries. Our mission is to energize a generation to evangelize their world. We train and equip teenagers to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ because we believe the gospel changes everything. And we're constantly reminded of this through the stories that we get. It's one of the ways that we measure our effectiveness as a ministry is these stories that we get back. And I'll never forget getting an email from this girl named Katie. What you're about to watch is her story, and these are her words, and you're going to see how the gospel changes everything.
Good morning, or evening, or day, or whatever it is where you are by the time you read this. My name is Katie. I'm 17 years old. I felt like you should know how these Dare to Share conferences are changing lives. I'll start at the beginning. I didn't really grow up in a Christian household, and I had some things happen to me that no girl should ever have to go through, especially at the hands of an adult man. These things affected me and shaped a lot of my personality, even after I thought I had grown up and moved on. On top of that, my family was pretty disconnected. I was in a situation where I was told constantly how useless and worthless I was, and I felt myself spinning deeper and deeper into some kind of darkness. I got this idea in my head that I had to pay for being such a screw-up. I had to pay for being ugly, for being fat, for being timid, so I began self-injuring in the 6th grade. It was like a drug. When the voices in my head screamed about how worthless I was and how I deserved to die got too loud, a little slice would quiet them down. I figured that if I died, it would be better for everyone. And by 8th grade, I had a suicide plan. Also about this time, my mom became a Christian. Then she wouldn't stop talking about her newfangled faith thing. She had no idea how serious my situation was at the time. She decided that I needed to get involved in her church. She made me go to all the church things, every Sunday morning, evening, and Wednesday night, every movie outing, every go-karting race, every Bible study, and I hated it. Then she signed me up for this weekend conference, Dare to Share. She made me go. I couldn't tell you every skit, or drama, or the worship band, but I could tell you that on Friday night at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, this frantic, twitchy little man down on the stage was talking about this God that loved me. A God that lived and died for me, who bled for me so I didn't have to anymore. Everything clicked then. I can't explain it more than that. God made a way out. That was new, and that was life. Everything changed. Since then, I've started and been a part of every single ministry opportunity I can find. I've already been on mission trips around the world, and in the past year, God has used me to start multiple ministries in and around my hometown. I've dedicated my entire life to God, to use however He wants, and I feel He's calling me to full-time overseas missions. I'm not sure why I'm writing this, mostly to tell you that you're making a difference in the world, whether you realize it or not. With God's power, we're winning. Winning more than games, winning more than competitions. We're winning souls. We're winning the race that was set before us, and God's moving. There are thousands, if not millions of people just like me that need to hear this gospel message, and I want to tell them. With God, we don't want to change the world. We're gonna change the world.
So it's obvious, the gospel changes everything. And that really is the core to Dare to Share. To really understand Dare to Share though, you kind of need to know my story. And I kind of have a crazy one because I was not raised in this religious suburban family. I was raised in the highest crime rate area in Denver. I don't come from a religious family. Jesus was far from my family. We had a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. But then one day, a preacher from the suburbs reached out to the city on a dare to talk to my Uncle Jack, the toughest one of my uncles, about the gospel of Jesus Christ. My Uncle Jack had been in and out of jail all of his life. He went to prison for choking 2 cops unconscious that were trying to arrest him for domestic abuse. In and out of jail his whole life, but this preacher shared with him the good news of the gospel of grace. He put his faith in Jesus. His life was instantly transformed. He began to tell the other uncles and people in our neighborhood, and one by one, they were transformed with the gospel of Jesus Christ. I was a little kid witnessing this, watching this, seeing my family transformed from the power of darkness to the power of light, to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And my story was changed in the process. You see, I never knew my biological father. I was a result of a one-night stand. My mom was a partier, and she had met my biological father at a party. They partied, she got pregnant. He found out, he got transferred 2,000 miles away. He was in the Army, and I was raised never knowing my dad, never knowing my biological father. But when I was 8 years old, I heard the gospel of Jesus Christ clearly for the first time, and I put my faith in Christ, and it transformed me. Because not only did I know my sins were forgiven, not only did I know I was going to go to heaven when I died, but I knew for the first time I had a daddy that loved me no matter what, that he'd never leave me or forsake me. And I want to tell you, it was that knowledge that gave me courage to live through life. The gospel changed everything for my aunts and my uncles, for my mom, and for me. You see, that's really the heart behind Dare to Share. It's what inspired me, this power of the gospel of Jesus Christ, to train and equip other teenagers to share that good news with everyone. Now you may wonder, well, why teenagers? Number one, 85% of the people that come to Christ do so by the time they're 18 years of age. 85%. Secondly, teenagers are the most likely to launch a spiritual movement. And if we can train and equip our young people and unleash them with the good news of the gospel of Christ, they literally can turn this nation upside down with the good news of Jesus. This is what we do. We train and equip teenagers. We do it in a variety of ways. One of the ways that we do it is through our training conferences. Now, these aren't just big, I love Jesus, how about you spiritual pep rallies. They're large-scale training events where we equip students how to lay the gospel out to their friends, how to share the good news of Jesus. We literally, at the conference, give them an opportunity to share their faith with the stranger, but also with their friends. Here's where something very unique happens. They not only begin to share their faith, they begin to own their faith. Because as they begin to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, they begin to really solidify what they believe and why they believe what they believe as a result. So we do large-scale training events, but we also do deeper level training events as well. We do this event called Lead the Cause University. It's a week-long intensive where we train the best of the best students and youth leaders from all across the nation, not just to share the gospel, not just to live the cause of Christ, but to lead the cause of Christ. These students literally are trained and equipped to train other groups, other youth groups, other campus groups. So we do large-scale training events. We do deeper level, week-long intensives. We also provide all sorts of curriculum and books and online resources. And we make these resources available to youth groups all across the nation. We do all this, all the curriculum, the books that we've written, the evangelism tools, the Dare to Share app, the events, the deeper level training, all this we do with one laser focus: to energize this generation to evangelize the world with the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. If it hadn't been for the gospel, I don't know where I'd be. Maybe in prison or dead, but I do know this: the gospel changed everything for me. That's why I love Romans 1:16, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes. And that is our hope, that every teenager believes the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's what we want to see at Dare to Share. And so we're going to ask you to join us. We're going to ask you to join us on this quest. If God is moving in your soul, would you join us? And you can join us in 3 different ways. You can pray. You can pray for revival. You can pray for this next generation. You can pray for Dare to Share. Pray that God raises up this generation and turns this nation back to God. You can act. There's a lot of different ways you can act. You can come to a Dare to Share conference and volunteer for the weekend. You can come into the Dare to Share office and volunteer. You can mobilize a teenager you know to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. Take them to the Dare to Share website. You can pray, you can act, you can give. You know, we're a nonprofit organization at Dare to Share, and we depend on God moving in the hearts of ministry partners to get them to give financially to the ministry. I want to challenge you to partner with us financially. Prayerfully consider joining us in this quest on a financial level. And when you do, you're going to make a gift that makes a difference for a lifetime. Thank you for taking time out to learn more about Dare to Share and what we're really all about. If God has been moving in your soul, if you see the potential of reaching this next generation, if you want to see a revival, you're tired of reading about it, you want to see one, join us.